Welcome to the Use Your Inside Voice podcast. I'm Heather Dawn. Let's kick it off with a dance party. Well, welcome to the Use Your Inside Voice podcast. My name is Heather Dawn, and I am very excited to be joined today by my new friend and wonderful human being, Valerie Wilson. Valerie, just by way of introduction, hello, Valerie. By way of introduction, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Valerie. She is a wife and mom of two boys. One is a teenager and one is in elementary school. So she's kind of running the gamut of parenting right there. Valerie has 18 and a half years in education with like a focus on math. So she's smart. She's smart. Valerie is an international TEDx speaker, which is awesome. And at the end of the show or in the show notes, we'll link her TEDx talks for anyone that wants to take a look at those. She is the owner and aficionado of Anointed Armor Academy, which is educational services focusing on tutoring, teen coaching, and workshops. So needed. Her passion, of course, is teaching teens how to take care of their mental, physical, and spiritual health. So welcome, Valerie. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited about this.
This is going to be a great conversation. I just know it. I can feel it. So let's kick it off. The first question that I would like to ask you is, Valerie, how do you use your inside voice?
Oh, yeah. So, in thinking about that question, my first thought was, how did I find it? Because it was a process for finding it. I spent a lot of time, especially in my teen years, um, not speaking up and not saying things and suppressing the ideas and the opinions that I had. And so it was actually in college when I had to make pretty much a life pivoting decision. I had to decide if I was going to change my major or keep it the same and finish out the 1 year I had left.
Oh,
The
gosh.
problem was my parents were funding everything, and my parents said, if you change your major, we're not financing the rest of your education.
Ooh.
But deep down inside, I just knew that I needed to change it. I was in sports medicine. I was like, this is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to go into education. And
Okay.
so, as you can tell, the decision I made was the one that my parents didn't want. But it was in that moment where I realized if I was going to be happy in my life, if I was going to be fulfilled doing the things that I know I should be doing, then I had to listen to the whispers that were inside. And
Mm.
so the way that I use my inside voice is I don't allow anyone or anything to stop it, to suppress it, to make me like question what it is I'm thinking or what it is that I'm feeling in the moment, and intentionally deciding if I think it needs to be said, I'm going to say it regardless. I'm intentional about how it comes out,
Right.
but I'm going to let it come out. No longer will it be suppressed on the inside.
What an incredible gift that you gave yourself in college when you tuned in and you thought, okay, I have a year left and this is not what I want to do. And you knew the risk was your parents were not going to continue to fund it. And yet you listened and you followed your inside voice and you, the inner knowing that you had and the desire and your soul's purpose, and you made a tough decision, and it paid off because now you can, you know that you're in, you made the right move. Like you're following your passion. You've been in it now for 18 and a half years. And you gave yourself that gift to know that when you listen to your inside voice, good things happen, right?
Absolutely.
And sometimes all we need is one example of a success with doing something that maybe we're a little bit afraid of. Because you said you spent most of your life suppressing that. And then you gave it a chance and it was amazing. And now you'll never go back to suppressing it again, that's incredible. What a gift. And what I
It
love,
was it was like, sorry, but it was coming up because of the work that I do with teens. And especially starting out in math, which is a subject that they're already averse to. They don't like it, they don't want to be in it, they don't want to talk about it. Figuring out what are the things that are underneath why they feel that way, and then finding out that, oh, this goes outside of math, this is beyond an academic subject, a classroom. Like, I'm walking in the realm of the life and the emotions that these teens are carrying with them that show up in the classroom. So to be able to have that experience and connect with students in that way is like, that was the reason I went to school every day.
wow. So I have teenagers, and I can imagine that, having you as a teacher would have been pretty special. Um, and I never had thought about, an aversion to a subject matter in school as maybe the path of least resistance to let a certain, you know, feeling or emotion that they might be kind of trying to keep under wraps, like that's the path of least resistance, to be like, well, I can't really control what's going on in my home life or whatever else, but I know I don't like math, or I know I don't like English, and so I'm going to let out some of that during math. And for you to key in and say, oh, this is not about math. This is about something far deeper. That's incredible. What a gift. And so I'm curious, like, how did you navigate that? What did that look like in the classroom? Like, how did you how did you figure that out? And then what did you do to get to these kids and build, you know, a bridge from whatever emotion they were dealing with to math? Let's
Yeah,
hear it.
that yeah. So I guess starting out, first few years of teaching, I went into teaching as soon as I graduated. So I'm like 23, they're like 18 because they gave
Right.
me some seniors. I don't know why. Uh, but so connecting with them outside of the academics was fairly easy.
Right.
Just making sure, you maintain boundaries with them. And so I would just talk to them a lot. Yeah, I give them their lesson, and while they're working, I'd be going around, we just have conversation. And one of the gifts that I do have is kids relate to me easily. They're very comfortable with me very quickly. And so when we start talking about other things, well, eventually kids would come and they would talk about not so fun stuff and not
Mm,
so great things.
mm,
And I've just always had this knack for listening, and not just listening to the words that you're saying, but like watching your body language as you're saying it, listening to your tonality as you're saying it. I didn't know what it was at the time, um, but that's what was happening. So I get these clues and I'd have these thoughts, and I'm like, where did that come from? And then
yeah.
I'd ask the kid about it, and they would be fairly accurate as to what's going on. So it was a combination of listening and awareness. Like,
Yes.
kids want you to listen to them. And I think
Yeah.
it's something that as adults we never do enough of. We're always trying to tell them stuff, I'm trying to make them do things, but a lot of times we don't ever stop and pause and just listen to hear what they're saying or what is their opinion. Um, and if you do that, and then pay attention to how they're presenting that to you, there's a world of information
Mm-hmm.
that you can get from that kid. And so then to
Mm-hmm.
take that and bridge it to the math, if you don't have people to listen to you, you probably don't communicate well enough or as well as you could because you never get the
Right.
opportunity to practice. So
Right.
I use that as, okay, talk to me. We're going to have some dialogue. And then I'm going to sprinkle in like some little math concept in between that I think could relate. And that's how I kind of bridge over to, okay, get a little confidence about what you can do. It's okay to tell me what you can't do. This is a safe space. Now
Right.
let's work on this math.
That's so cool. I should have better language. It's just it's beautiful. I'm like, that's so cool. I'm just like lost in your story. And
That's
I'm
okay.
imagining being a student. I actually like I'm imagining being back in high school. Like you took me back to high school and man, kids, they're bombarded with a lot of things and they carry a lot of stuff with them that they don't talk about. I'm getting emotional. Like that's what happens. They're so like sponges, right? And they pick up
Hmm.
everything and then they have their friends and things that might be happening with their friends. If they're involved in sports, there's a draw there. Whatever family life looks like. Some kids are hungry. Like there's a lot that kids have to navigate and they don't yet have all the tools. And so, oh my goodness. Um, Listeners, you should know by now I'm gonna cry probably often, so it's okay. You can cry with me if you're in the shower. No, no, no. Um, but it's so beautiful that you, even without knowing that you had that gift, that you could tune in and you've developed and honed that gift. I know you have because I've been
Yeah,
in your energy field face to face. And so I'm acutely aware of the gift that you have and how beautiful to be in your proximity, to be feeling of your warmth, of your genuine care for the students that or the people, whoever you're around. And then for you to have that gift to be able to just like tune in and not really know like why are you getting this, but okay, I'm getting this, so let me do something with it. And I'm sure that you touched countless lives. If you've been a teacher for 18 and a half years, there's a good chance that some of your students are parents now and, have children of their own that are going to school. And perhaps maybe some of them are teachers even, and you know, they remember their first math teacher or they remember their favorite math teacher. So
that's right.
very,
Yeah,
very,
it's so cool.
thanks for using my words so I don't feel so lame.
You're
It's
welcome.
cool.
No, but I mean, it really, really is. It's amazing. As teachers, sometimes we know like what type of profession we're in. We know it's very sacrificial, and
Yes.
the reward that you get if you find the daily things
Hmm.
that are rewarding and fulfilling, but also there's always like for me, did I actually have some impact? Did I actually make a difference? And a lot of times those teachers don't know those things until like after they're retired, 30, 45 years later. I've been graced every single year to know from a kid specifically or several, depending on the year, that I made a difference
Hmm.
and I impacted them in a way that they would remember for life. And I'm very thankful for that. I don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
Um, and I want to continue that.
That's beautiful. You are no longer teaching math at school. You've moved on to coaching and
Yes.
doing your own thing here, right? Let's talk about that.
Yes. I do have a part-time job that's
Okay.
in the transition. So locally here in Georgia, that's where I live.
Okay.
Um,
Lucky
there's
Georgia.
a right, there's an organization called Georgia Public Broadcasting, and so I'm actually an outreach representative for them in the
Beautiful.
meantime.
What do they do?
So
Like,
Georgia Public Broadcasting hosts a wealth of resources and media. There's a studio in Atlanta, Georgia, and they do everything from educational resources, which is the department I'm in, even to recording movies. So
oh, right.
it's a recording studio, video, photography, all of that, and based out of Atlanta.
Great. And so you're just you're an outreach for them. And then the real passion, right?
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Anointed armor. Let's hear about it.
The
Tell us
baby.
more.
So, Anointed Armor officially started in 2017.
Okay.
Um, and it actually birthed out of I wanted some Christian-based apparel and I felt like I could make it. So I started this t-shirt line and eventually it just kind of evolved into, well, no, I really want my education background to be a part of this. The name itself represents how my faith, being anointed, means that you've been given gifts
Mm,
and talents to do specific things in life. And the armor part is when you do those things, a lot of times that you can look at it as a battlefield. And so there are certain things that you have to make sure are a part of your covering so that
mhm.
when you go out into those spaces that you actually can deploy your gifts where they need to be.
Mm, that's
So
beautiful. And
so
it's,
out of it
yeah.
we do tutoring. So math tutoring is the main thing. Doing a little SAT prep as well. We also do I also do team coaching.
Mm,
So all of the mental health and emotional health and things like that, I'm able to talk with teens one on one. And then we're working on workshops. So we want to do group sessions with these teens as well to get them talking to each other.
that's that's incredible. I have a soft spot for group coaching. I feel like um healing and breakthroughs happen in community, and there's just such a unique flavor when you put more than one person, more than two people rather, in a room that can share the experience, can share their perspectives, can hold space for each other, and can, provide feedback and accountability, like all of the things. I have a real soft spot for that. And I to put teens in a room together, I think is going to be amazing. Amazing. So right now you do one-on-one with teens? You coach one-on-one?
I do. Yeah. So when I started with the math tutoring, and a lot of the outcomes from that, the kids, of course, improved in their math skills. Um, However, when I would ask the parents or the kids, like, so what is the value you're getting out of this? Like, what is your feedback? The number one thing that they would say is increased confidence, just in the kid in general. I had a fourth grader that at that time was really like my favorite client. And I remember her
Oh,
mom telling me one day, she said, if I could just, if I had enough funding and finances to just pay you just to talk to her on a regular basis,
oh,
I would do that. She's like, she loves coming to you. She's still not too particular about math itself, but she loves to come to your tutoring sessions, and that is uh, something that's different for her. That's amazing. So, with that feedback, I was like, well, why don't I provide
Mhm.
a service where I can just talk to the kids about what's going on and how they're feeling and coach them,
Yes.
outside of the academics?
Yes. And so, what would a typical session look like? And is are your clients all teenagers, or do you work with younger kids? I'm curious.
Yeah, so typical session is us hopping on a call, either virtually video or I've done several telephone calls before. And usually me opening up with, so hey, what's up? What's going on today? How you doing? And they'll tell me, and I'll tell them about me. A favorite thing of mine to do is to ask them, so what do you want to know about me?
Mm,
And that kind of gets the ball rolling pretty quickly as far as my connection with them, my relationship with them. Um, and at first, they're kind of like almost afraid, like, what am I supposed to ask this adult about
right?
him? But then, like, after a couple of questions, they really get into it. And so it makes it easier for um, us to figure out, like, what are we both interested in? So that, because this is information I use, of course, as I'm coaching them throughout our process. Calls last about 30 minutes or so. After about that time, they're kind of like, okay,
Their attention
that's
span is like done.
exactly, exactly. And then I usually try to give them, depending on what they brought to the session. So we do talk about, well, what do you want to work on? Or what are some things that you feel like are blocking you? What's not going so well? What's going good? I'll give them some homework based on whatever we've discussed. Either they're thinking about things for next time, or they've come up with a goal. And so there's an action step that, needs to happen between calls. And then we part ways, and I'm like, I can't wait to talk to you next time. And they like it. It's crazy to me because I just never thought that this is a thing, but these teens need it. And when they get it, they will show that, they appreciate it.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's really wonderful. Um, I, I just, there needs to be more warriors like you out there working with the teens on this type of a level, you know? Teachers, are amazing and they can only do so much in the classroom, but when you can get that one-on-one attention, that's pretty amazing. So, thank you for the work that you do with the kids. It's important. Um,
No, thank you for this platform to be able to just kind of express that need and give people like some exposure to the experience of it. I think a lot of times, just in general, most people know or can say that, oh, our teens need this or our teens need that, just kind of an umbrella type of statement, the world
sure.
needs peace kind of
Yes.
thing. But to actually have an experience or be exposed more, one on one, closely connected to what that would look like,
Yes.
it makes a world of difference. So it takes platforms like yours, honestly, Heather, so people can be exposed to that and the word can get out and people can learn how they can support, those endeavors that work.
Let me ask you, there's so many questions that I want to ask you. So I'm organizing. I'm closing my eyes to organize for just a second. Um, I asked you what a typical session would look like. I'm curious, and I want for the listeners, if they're like driving in the car and they're a mom or they're a dad and they're like, oh, my teen needs this so bad, like so bad. How, like, is this something that the parent you know, reaches out and says, can you coach my kid? Or is this, or could it be a kid driving around in their car listening to this saying, I could actually use someone to talk to that isn't a therapist, that isn't, going to try to tell me, to that I need Zoloft or whatever. Not that there's anything wrong. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with medication, but sometimes the idea of a therapist is like very intimidating for a kid. And also could be quite costly. I don't know. What, how does this happen? And add on to that, maybe there are some teachers who are built like you with that capacity to just understand kids, and maybe they want to do more, but they don't know how. And so could they take a page out of your book and begin doing this coaching thing as well? And how would they set that up? Essentially, like, did you decide I'm going to do half-hour sessions? It's going to cost this much, and here's how you access it. And a kid or an adult could do it, or do you need parental permission? Wow, it's a lot of questions. Sorry, Val.
Yeah, no, I got you. I followed. Yeah,
Okay.
because they're great questions. Yeah. So, because I had the same questions as a parent, how could I get my kid help? That was not, we tried the therapy. He wasn't talking to the therapist. He didn't even like the whole idea of going to this office to sit in front of this person,
Right.
for all this time. So once I realized what I was doing inside the school building, inside of my classroom, and what clued me in was like my students started saying, "You should be a counselor."
Mm,
And I was like, "No, counseling, that's not for me." When I thought about counseling, I thought about all of the diagnoses and
right.
that route, and I was like, "No, that's not what I want to do." Um, and then I got introduced to this world of a life coach.
Mm,
Um, and so that resonated with me. And so I just started researching it, got into some life coaching programs to get some training. And oddly enough, the training was with adults. It had nothing to do with teens.
yeah.
But I could take my education experience and marry the two together. And that's how I decided that I was going to be a teen life coach. And so wrote that into my business. And yeah, part of that guidance was you got time frames for how long your sessions are going to be and what you could offer. The nuance with dealing with kids is, yes, you have to have parent permission and the parents have to be involved. So part of my programming is after I talk to the kid, not every time, but a few times, the kid goes and gets the parent and we have a debrief. I'm not telling the parent everything that me and the kid talked about, obviously. But anything that I felt like is important that as a parent you would need to know, we talk about that. And then how to, like, what the parent can do from their side and from their perspective, some things the
Mm-hmm.
parent can be aware of and some tweaks that they may be able to make. I give that coaching as well to them.
Right.
Um,
Is that something that parents are receptive to?
Usually, yes. If they
Okay.
sign the kid up, part of our initial conversation, before any transactions happen, I explain that part to them.
Yeah.
And so they're pretty receptive. Most of the time the kid expresses that therapy is not for them, they ain't like it. And so at
Yeah.
this point the parent is open to trying something different and something new because they want their kid to get the help that they need.
Mm, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And
So then
so,
for the educator part,
yeah.
um I I do want to create training specifically for educators so that when situations come up in the classroom, um, they have some more tools to help with that. Most of the tools and the professional development we get as educators is in the form of academic.
Right.
language and academic strategies. Nobody's really telling us how to dig deep to figure out what's going on with a kid with a behavior problem or a kid that has just checked out. So I would love to train teachers and provide development in that.
Oh, that would be amazing. Amazing. So then you would have one arm of Anointed Armor that was all about doing one-on-one coaching with the kids. And then there's the tutoring arm, and then there's the group coaching program workshop,
Yeah.
and then there's the training of the teachers and parents. And then you could even have like a coaching certification arm.
The
Hello.
possibilities are endless. I
And then you
know.
have the clothing line,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
just to circle back to the clothing line, it wasn't lost on me that, you actually put on armor. And so when you wear the clothes, it's like positive Christian-based clothing that is physical armor. Yes.
Exactly. Yes.
Very, very cool. Valerie, I feel like there's like do you see the smile on my face? I
You got
feel
me cheesing over here too. I just checked in with my cheeks and
I
I'm like, oh, they've
know.
been up for a minute.
This is amazing. Like such amazing, positive, just feel good, much needed, highly valued work that you do. And yeah, I mean, if you're listening and you're thinking, I need a little bit of Valerie in my life, I would not blame you for thinking that. She's pretty amazing. Um, can you
Thank
feel
you
her
so much.
energy field through the sound waves, in her bright yellow sweater? Yes.
I love yellow.
She would not be able to hold back her energy if she tried. That's how powerful it is. Um, anyway, is there anything that you have on your heart that you want to share today, Valerie, that we haven't already talked about?
Yes, actually, I would love for your listeners to know that everybody goes through a journey. Everybody has their own process. Whatever yours is, it's yours, and it can't be compared to anybody else's. And so what I mean by that is it's neither good nor bad, it's just your process. And so I just would like to encourage people to look at whatever's happening from a different perspective, and that is you're going somewhere. You're going somewhere, and there are things you have to do in order to get there. But if you keep where you're going in view, then it makes the journey just a little bit easier to get through. All you got to do is just keep going. Whatever's happening, whatever's going on around you, it may be tough, it may be great. Whatever that spectrum is, just keep putting one step in front of the other. Even if it's not clear, even if there's this fog in front of you right now, fogs are finite. You
Mm,
keep walking and you keep moving. Eventually, you'll get to the other side and just imagine what's waiting for you there.
wow. Thank you for the goosebump advice. I just love you. You're amazing. Uh,
I so appreciate and love you too, Heather. So glad we got a chance to meet.
absolutely. And I'm grateful to you for coming on and sharing your light, your love, your passion, and your gifts with the listeners and with Georgia. And now do you have clients outside of Georgia?
Not currently. I
Okay,
have.
get ready. Get ready.
I'm ready. I stay ready. I stay ready.
Don't get ready, stay ready.
That's right.
Um, yeah, because now you'll who knows where your clients are going to come from. As a reminder, I'm going to drop Valerie's TEDx links into the show notes. And Valerie, I'm putting you on the spot right now. Do you have a type of discovery call or anything that like a parent or a parent-kid combo or something could access if they wanted to explore whether you are the right fit coach for them or for their teen? Is that
I
something that
sure
you
do.
want? Okay. Oh, awesome. Okay. Is that something that is that a paid discovery call? Do they?
It's free. It's
Oh,
a 15-minute discovery call, free discovery call. If you are interested in anything that I have said that I provide a service for, or if you're not sure, but you just kind of want to get some more information about me, maybe you want to collaborate on
mm,
anything that I've said or support it. So definitely 15-minute free discovery call.
amazing. We will put a link in the show notes for that as well. Thank you. That's so gracious and generous. Wonderful. Well, I can't thank you enough for your time today. And I want to remind the listeners to always drop in, to find that inside voice and to bring it forward to do good in the world. So thanks for joining us and have a great rest of your day or night or morning, whatever's, if you're about to go to sleep or, that's what we're going to do. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Use Your Inside Voice podcast. I'm Heather Dawn. We'll see you next Friday and every Friday after that.